The kitchen smelled like burnt coffee and broken promises. Mom sat across from me at our scratched dining table, her hands wrapped around her favorite mug, the one that said "World's Best Mom" in fading letters. I'd given it to her when I was 7, back when I still believed the words. "Sophia, we need to talk about college." Her voice had that careful quality I'd learned to dread over the past 5 years, ever since she married Greg. I set down my SAT prep book, stomach already churning. "What about it?" "I sent in my applications last month, just waiting to hear back now." "Yes, about that." She couldn't meet my eyes, focusing instead on the coffee stains marking the table like tiny brown continents. "There's been a change in plans regarding your college fund." The college fund, the one Dad had started when I was born, that Mom had faithfully added to even after he died, the one that was supposed to be sacred, untouchable, my ticket to a future that didn't depend on anyone else's choices. "What kind of change?" My voice sounded strange, distant, like it belonged to someone else. "Jake needs it more than you do." The words tumbled out in a rush. He struggled so much, and this is his last chance to turn things around. Greg found a program, a special automotive technical school that could really help him. Jake, my 22-year-old stepbrother who dropped out of community college twice, wrecked 3 cars, and currently spent his days gaming in the basement, that Jake needed my college fund. "You gave him my money?" I whispered. "It's not your money, Sophia, it's family money, and family helps family." She finally looked up, her eyes bright with defensive tears. "You're smart, you'll get scholarships. Jake doesn't have those options. Scholarships don't cover everything, Mom. That fund has $80,000, $80,000 that Dad left for MY education. Your father would understand," she said firmly, and that's when I knew this wasn't a discussion. The decision was already made. The money was probably already gone. He'd want us to help Jake. Family means sacrifice. When has Jake ever sacrificed anything for this family? I couldn't keep the bitterness out of my voice. When has Greg? When have they ever? Enough. Mom slammed her mug down, coffee sloshing onto my SAT book. "I won't have you talking about them that way. Greg has been nothing but generous, letting us live here. In our house." The words exploded out of me. The house Dad bought. The house she nearly lost until Dad's life insurance. "Sophia Marie." She stood abruptly, chair scraping against the floor. "You're being selfish. I've made my decision. Jake starts his program next month. You'll have to find another way." Find another way, like it was that simple. Like I hadn't spent 4 years killing myself with AP classes and extracurriculars, building the perfect resume for the Ivy League dreams I'd shared with Dad before the cancer took him. "Does Greg know you took the money?" I asked quietly. Something flickered across her face. "Greg and I make decisions together. He agrees that Jake needs this opportunity." Of course he did. Greg, who drove a new truck while Mom's car wheezed and rattled. Greg, who had beer money but never seemed to have grocery money. Greg, who looked at me like I was a tenant he couldn't evict rather than his wife's daughter. I stood up slowly, gathering my ruined study materials. "Well, I hope Jake's automotive program is worth it. I hope it's worth telling Dad's daughter that his dreams for her matter less than your husband's failure of a son." "Sophia." But I was already heading to my room, to the sanctuary I'd created with yard sale furniture and clearance curtain panels. The acceptance letters would start coming soon. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, all the places Dad and I had dreamed about during his chemo treatments, when dreaming was all we had left. What would I tell them now? "Sorry, I can't afford your tuition because my mom gave my college fund to my stepbrother who needed a 4th chance at being a functional adult." I sat on my bed, pulling out my phone to scroll through old photos. There was Dad at my science fair, proud as I won 1st place. Dad at my piano recital, filming even though his hands shook from the treatment. Dad in the hospital bed, still making me promise to reach for the stars. "I promise, Daddy," I whispered to the photo. "I'll find another way." That's when I remembered something. A comment Dad had made near the end, when the morphine made him ramble. Something about making sure I was really taken care of and backup plans and "when you turn 18. My 18th birthday was next week. I spent the night searching through Dad's old papers, the ones Mom had boxed up and stuck in the attic because Greg wanted the office space. Most of it was standard tax returns, medical records, the will that left everything to Mom, but tucked inside his college diploma folder, I found a business card, Marcus Thompson, Fiduciary Trust Services. My hand shook as I dialed the number the next morning, while Mom and Greg were at work and Jake was still unconscious in the basement. "Thompson Trust Services. How may I help you?" Hi, my name is Sophia Chen. I think my father, David Chen, Might have had an account with you? There was a pause. Then, Miss Chen, we've been waiting for your call. Your father set up specific instructions for us to contact you on your 18th birthday, but you've saved us the trouble. When can you come in? 3 days later, I sat in Mr. Thompson's office, staring at numbers that didn't make sense. Your father established this trust when you were 5, Mr. Thompson explained, sliding documents across his polished desk. He funded it with his patents from his engineering work, structured to grow tax-free. He was very specific about the conditions. Conditions? The trust becomes accessible to you on your 18th birthday, but only you. Your mother has no claim to it, no knowledge of it. Your father was concerned about future financial influences. Future financial influences. Like Greg, Dad had seen this coming, even then. How much? I asked, though I could see the number. I just couldn't believe it. As of today, the trust contains approximately $480,000, more than enough for any college education you choose to pursue. $480,000. Dad had saved almost $500,000 for me, hidden it away where Mom's new family couldn't touch it. He also left you this, Mr. Thompson handed me a sealed envelope with my name in Dad's careful handwriting. I opened it with trembling fingers. My dearest Sophia. If you're reading this, then you're 18 and hopefully heading to college. I'm sorry I couldn't be there to see it. I'm even sorrier if your mother has made choices that hurt your dreams. I know your mom. I love her, but I also know she sees the best in people, even when it blinds her to reality. This money is yours alone. Use it to build the life we dreamed about during those long hospital nights. Remember, you don't owe anyone your future, not even family, especially not family that doesn't value you. Reach for the stars, my brilliant girl. All my love. Dad. I clutched the letter, tears streaming down my face. Even dead, my father was still protecting me, still fighting for my dreams. Miss Chen? Mr. Thompson offered me tissues. There's more. Your father also set up a meeting with Harvard's financial aid office. He seemed to think you'd be needing it. Harvard, my dream school, the one I'd been afraid to hope for after Mom's announcement. He knew I'd get in? Mr. Thompson smiled. He said, and I quote, "My daughter's going to Harvard. I just need to make sure she can afford it when she does." I left the office in a daze, trust documents secure in my bag. For 3 days, I said nothing at home. I helped with dinner, did my homework, even smiled when Jake bragged about his upcoming program. "See," Mom said one evening, squeezing my shoulder, "I knew you'd understand. Sometimes we have to sacrifice our dreams for family." "You're right," I agreed. "Sacrifice is important." She beamed, missing the irony completely. The acceptance letters started arriving the next week. Yale, Princeton, Columbia, and then, on a rainy Thursday that felt like sunshine, Harvard. I stared at the crimson letterhead, at the words I'd dreamed of seeing. "We are delighted to inform you." "What's that?" Jake asked, peering over my shoulder, Cheetos dust on his fingers. "Just college stuff," I said mildly, "nothing important." That night, I created the social media post carefully, a photo of the Harvard acceptance letter, my dad's picture next to it, and the caption, "Dreams do come true, Harvard bound. Thanks to my amazing dad who made sure I'd have this chance. Thank you to Dad's secret trust fund for making the impossible possible. 480K can buy a lot of dreams. Hashtag Harvard bound, hashtag dad knew best, hashtag trust fund baby, hashtag legacy of love." I tagged everyone, every relative, every family friend, every person who'd ever asked about my college plans. Then I waited. It took exactly 12 minutes for Mom to burst into my room, phone in hand, face purple with rage. "What is this?" She shoved her phone at me, my post glowing on the screen. "What trust fund? What are you talking about?" "Oh," I said calmly, still sitting at my desk. "Dad set up a trust fund for my education. Since you said I needed to find another way, I did." 480,000? Her voice cracked. "Your father had that kind of money?" "From his patents. He saved it for my education." I turned back to my homework. "Family sacrifices, remember? You have to share it." She was almost screaming now. "That money should go to the family. Jake needs dash. Jake has my college fund. $80,000 that Dad saved for me." I finally looked at her. "That money you gave him? That was my sacrifice for this family. The trust fund? That's Dad making sure I didn't have to sacrifice my future." "I'll sue," she threatened. "That money came from our marriage dash. From patents filed before you met." I interrupted. "In a trust you can't touch. Dad made sure of that. He knew you'd remarry. He knew you'd choose them over me, so he chose me, one last time. Greg appeared in the doorway, face red. You manipulative little dash. Careful, I warned. Everything you say is being recorded. My trust lawyer suggested it, given the circumstances. Mom sank onto my bed, tears streaming. How could you do this to us? We're your family. Jake is your family, I corrected. Greg is your family. I'm just the kid whose college fund you stole. But don't worry, I'll be gone soon. Harvard starts in the fall. Sophia, please, we could use that money. The house needs repairs. Jake's program, Greg's truck payments dash. No. Such a simple word, such a powerful word. One dad had given me permission to say. You're just like your father, she spat. Selfish, thinking you're better than everyone. I hope so, I replied, because Dad would never have given away his daughter's future to impress his new spouse. Dad would never have chosen a stranger over his child. So yes, I hope I'm exactly like him. The next months were ice-cold silence broken only by necessary communication. Mom told everyone I was heartless, selfish, that I was abandoning family in their time of need. She didn't mention the $80,000 she'd already taken. She didn't mention that Jake dropped out of his automotive program after 3 weeks, the money non-refundable. I spent those months working with Mr. Thompson to set up my finances, planning my future, and visiting Dad's grave. You knew, didn't you? I asked the headstone. You knew she'd choose them. The wind rustled the flowers I'd brought, birds of paradise, his favorite. It felt like an answer. Moving day came in August. I'd hired movers myself, paid for storage for the things I couldn't take to campus. Mom stood in the doorway, arms crossed, while Greg and Jake watched TV, pretending I wasn't leaving forever. I hope you're happy, she said, breaking up this family for money. I'm not breaking up anything, I replied, carrying the last box to the truck. I'm just refusing to be broken by it. When you fail out there, don't come crying to us, Greg called from the couch. That money won't last forever. I paused at the door, looking back one last time at the house Dad bought, where his dreams lived in the walls and his absence echoed in every room. Actually, I said, it will. Dad made sure of that. He knew something you never figured out, that investing in my future was the best investment he could make. Enjoy the $80,000. It's all you'll ever get from me. I left them there, Mom with her choices, Greg with his greed, Jake with his wasted opportunities. The trust paid for Harvard, for grad school, for the startup I'd launch with my roommate. It paid for the life Dad and I had dreamed of during those terrible, beautiful last days. Mom tried to reconcile years later, after Greg left her for someone younger, after Jake's third arrest, after she realized that choosing them had cost her everything. She showed up at my college graduation, thin and older and full of regret. I'm sorry, she said, I should have chosen you. Yes, I agreed, you should have. Can you forgive me? I thought about Dad, about trust funds and backup plans and love that protects even from beyond the grave. I can forgive you, I said finally, but I can't forget that when I needed you most, you gave away my future for people who didn't even stay. Dad knew you would, that's why he made sure I didn't need you to choose me, he already had. She cried then, understanding finally what she'd lost, not just money or a daughter's love, but the chance to be the parent Dad had been, the one who put their child first, always, even after death. I graduated summa cum laude, spoke at commencement, started a company that helped other students find hidden scholarships and resources. Every success was a conversation with Dad, a promise kept, a dream realized. The trust fund didn't just pay for college, it paid for freedom from people who saw my future as their piggy bank. It paid for the ability to say no. It paid for the life I built on my own terms, with my father's ghost as my guide and his foresight as my foundation. Jake still posts about the unfairness of it all, how his stepsister hoarded family money. Mom still tells people I chose money over family. Greg found another single mother to leech off of, another college fund to eye hungrily. And me? I'm living proof that sometimes the best gift a parent can give their child isn't just money, it's the foresight to protect them from the people they'll have to trust you with. Thanks, Dad, for knowing, for planning, for making sure that even when Mom chose them, I didn't have to pay for her choice. $480,000, that's what my dreams were worth to him. Priceless, that's what his protection was worth to me.